What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogreboy, and I'm going to be doing my top 10 most anticipated horror movies of 2021. I've done 2 top 10 lists of most anticipated movies of this year, and I thought I'd go ahead and do ones that are just horror movies, because I'm a big horror movie fan, and there are quite a few that I'm looking forward to. Some of these may end up getting release dates changed. Hopefully they don't, but it is possible, so I thought I'd go ahead and just say that. So going ahead and starting out at number 10 is A Quiet Place Part 2. I've only seen the first Quiet Place movie once, but I remember when I saw it the first time, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was an amazing movie. Really great cast, especially John Krasinski. He was just amazing in this movie, and so was Emily Blunt. They both were great in here, and they worked really great together. Of course, they're husband and wife in real life, so their chemistry was going to be really good. But I really am looking forward to this movie. It's both a sequel and a prequel, so I'm really excited to see how this movie turns out. I hope that it's really good and stuff, because the first one was one of those movies that I didn't really necessarily want a sequel or anything to, but I'm glad we did get it. We are getting this one, because the more I think about it, the more I'm actually pretty excited for it. So Quiet Place Part 2 is number 10, and number 9 is the untitled Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot, sequel, whatever it's going to be. I think they're doing like with Halloween and making it a direct sequel to the first one, which they've already done that with this franchise, because Texas Chainsaw 3D was originally a direct sequel to the first movie that had a bunch of continuity errors. Hopefully this one won't have all the bad continuity errors and stuff, and will still be a really good movie. I'm hoping it'll be a lot of fun and stuff, and still have that Texas Chainsaw feel and everything. Maybe it'll actually feel like the first one. Personally, I think if they're gonna do a sequel to a Texas Chainsaw movie, I wish they would just do a direct sequel to Part 2 or something and everything, because I felt like Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 is really underrated. But I'm just happy to get another Texas Chainsaw movie. This is one of those franchises where they don't have the best continuity and stuff, but they're just fun movies to watch, and always find enjoyment in them. Yeah, some of them are pretty bad, like Next Generation, but I like them enough. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre is number 9, and number 8 is Time's Up. This is supposed to be a New Year's Eve slasher movie. I just saw a little article about it earlier, and I don't really know much about this movie except it's set during New Year's Eve, and there's a slasher named Father Time that I guess is killing people and everything. And I saw the poster, and it just looks like it's going to be a fun 80s throwback horror movie, at least from the poster anyway. I'm hoping that that's how this movie will be and everything. I don't really know who's in it or much else about it, but just something about it really sparked my interest, so I'm looking forward to that one. So Time's Up is number 8, and number 7 is Candyman. I've only seen the original Candyman movie. I haven't actually seen any of the sequels yet. I've heard that they were pretty bad, but I'm planning on trying to see those 2 and watch and review the first one and review the other 2 before going to see this one whenever it gets out. I think it's supposed to be out during the summer, but I could be wrong. It might be during the fall. But I'm really looking forward to Candyman. It's the first one is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I just absolutely love the first one and everything, and I'm glad they're bringing Tony Todd back. I think that's just going to be awesome, and I'm really looking forward to this new one. I know a lot of people are kind of eerie about it because Jordan Peele's involved, and most people think that he's directing the movie when he's not. And a lot of people that are excited for it are excited because they think he's directing it and everything. And they're using his name to sell the movie, obviously. But I'm still excited to see this movie and see how it does and see what it's like. So Candyman is number 7, and number 6 is Antlers. This was one that I think was actually on one of my top 10. I think it was in my first top 10 list of most anticipated horror movies of the year. But I'm really excited for this one. I think it's supposed to be out either next month or in March, maybe April. I can't remember for sure which month it's supposed to be out, but I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know a whole lot about it. I saw a little trailer for it back. It's probably about a year ago when I saw the trailer, and it really looked interesting to me. To be honest, I don't remember much about the trailer, and I haven't wanted to go revisit it because I'd like to kind of just go in blind. That's what I'm going to try to do with most of the movies on this list, is just go in blind. But I'm really looking forward to it. There was just something about it that kind of intrigued me and everything, so I'm really looking forward to it. So Antlers is number 6, and number 5 is Abruptio. This is another one I don't really know anything about. It was supposed to be released last year, but it got moved to this year. I'm not even exactly sure when it's supposed to be out this year, but it's supposed to be an animated horror movie with puppets, and it stars Robert Englund and late Sid Hagen, his final movie role. And I don't know what it is, but just the thought of making a horror movie with puppets sounds really interesting, and I hope that it's as good as it sounds. I haven't seen any trailers for it. I've seen the poster, and that's really about it. That's all I really know about the movie, but I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully it'll be really good. So Abruptio is number 5, and number 4 is Willys Wonderland, starring Nicolas Cage. I'm really excited for this movie. It sounds like it's going to be just absolutely bonkers and awesome. Nicolas Cage has been doing horror movies a lot recently. Mom and Dad and Mandy were both really good movies that he was in, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him in this one too. The horror genre is really one of the genres where he can really get away with being the overtop Nicolas Cage that everybody loves and stuff without really getting made fun of, because you can get away with being over the top and crazy and stuff in horror movies, to me, better than you could like a drama or something. Yeah, and comedies are the other genre you can kind of get away with being over the top and crazy but I really am looking forward to this movie. It's supposed to be set like this place that's like Chuck E. Cheese's, and these animatronics come to life, and he's having to protect kids from them. It sounds like it's going to be really awesome, and I'm really looking forward to it. So Willys Wonderland is number 4, and number 3 is Spiral from the Book of Saw. I'm not like the hugest fan of the Saw franchise. I do like most of the movies quite a bit, especially the first 3, and I think it was the 6th and 7th ones are the ones that I like the most. 4 and 5 I think were just alright movies, but and 8 was pretty decent, but I'm really looking forward to this new take on the franchise and see what Chris Rock has to offer. He's writing the movie and he's going to be in it, and one of my favorite actors of all time, Samuel Jackson, is going to be in there. So I'm really looking forward to this movie quite a bit. It looks like it's going to be really interesting. They released a trailer right before all this stuff started happening last year, and I was so mad when they announced they were going to change its release date and everything. I wish that it would be released during the Halloween season like all the other Saw movies and stuff, but if they do it that way, then it would have to compete with another movie that I'll be talking about later, and it would be really dumb of them to put it up against that particular movie. But yeah, so Spiral from the Book of Saw is number 3, and number 2 is Terrifier 2. I just absolutely love the first Terrifier movie. It just came out of nowhere. I had heard a little bit of word of mouth about it, most of it bad and everything, but I had heard some good about it too, and I decided to go ahead and check it out at the Red Box, and I just absolutely loved it. It's become one of my favorite slasher movies of all time, and one of my favorites in recent years. It just is, it's a lot of fun. David Howard Thornton is amazing as Art the Clown, and I can't wait to see him back in the role. And I know they have a bigger budget, so I'm guessing that the kills and stuff are going to be even more awesome. I hope they stick with the practical effects like they did the first movie and everything, but I think they will. I'm really excited for this movie, and I've heard that there's plans for at least 1 or 2 more sequels after this one, maybe more. It'd be awesome if Terrifier could become a horror franchise like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and other great horror franchises. But I'm really looking forward to this one. So Terrifier 2 is number 2. And my number 1 most anticipated horror movie of 2020 is Halloween Kills. I just absolutely love the Halloween franchise, and Halloween 2018 was such a great movie. It was a really refreshing entry for the franchise and everything. Yeah, it ignored all the previous sequels and stuff, but I liked it. I like what they did with it. I thought 2018 was a really good movie. It did have its little messed up. Some of the humor in the movie just didn't really work for the franchise, but I mean, it wasn't anything that ruined the movie for me. I know some people it did, but it didn't for me. And I kind of expected it to have humor and stuff, being written by Danny McBride. And I know him and David Gordon Green are coming back for this one. I can't wait to see what happens next. I just absolutely love the Halloween franchise, and Halloween Kills is easily my most anticipated horror movie of the year. It was my most anticipated horror movie of last year too, but hopefully it won't be my most anticipated one for next year. Hopefully that'll be Halloween Ends, but yeah, so that's my top 10 most anticipated movies of the year. I'd like to give a couple honorable mentions. The Reckoning, and one that I saw a trailer for that Aaron from Miles Z Movies had mentioned in our horror group chat. He had mentioned it and showed a link to the trailer, and I watched that, and that movie looks really good. And Escape Room 2, I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, but I thought it was decent enough and had a lot of potential. I hope that Escape Room 2 will be even better. I hope maybe they'll give it a rated R, or an R rating, but it's hard to say if they will or not, but I'm still looking forward to see what they do with it. And also, I know this isn't a movie, but if this was a movie, it would be number 1 on my list. The horror thing that I'm actually the most excited for of 2021 is actually the Child's Play TV show that's coming out. I think it's just going to be called Chucky. I just absolutely can't wait. Chucky's my favorite horror killer, and it's my favorite franchise and horror franchise and stuff, so I'm really excited for the Chucky show and having Brad Dourif back, and I'm excited to see what they do and how they continue Cult of Chucky. I don't know if this is going to have a lot to do with the movies, or if the show's meant to be more of its own thing, and maybe they'll do sequels to Cult of Chucky later. I hope they do. But I'm extremely excited for that one. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what your most anticipated horror movies of 2020 are. I mean 2021, not 2020. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.